So I want to talk to us today about change. Actually, what I want to tell you is that addiction destroys our dreams because it's almost the same thing. We're stuck. We continue to repeat previous behaviors because we don't like change. There's lots of reasons for why we don't. There's that wonderful joke about, I don't like change. I don't even like to change my underwear. It's like, I like the way things are. We have difficulty sometimes imagining life differently than what it is. Or we've made little furtive attempts at changing and they didn't work, whatever that means. It didn't come out the way we expected it. Maybe we were disappointed. Maybe we failed. I tried that and it didn't work. A lot of times when we get into the therapy of it, we realize, well, actually, it was you that wasn't doing the work. No, the change, had you followed through, would have given you a different result. But how many times have you asked somebody, hey, how are you? And a different day, same old, same old. We struggle with this as human beings, with change. And sometimes when I do a class and ask this question to folks, there's always somebody who says, I like change. I like the new. And then I say, okay, let's apply Pareto's rule that maybe it's only 80% of the population that doesn't like change. The other 20%, you can kind of do it. I said, but how many of you have had to move? And I usually say had to move because that's the feeling when we have to move, even if we want to. It's because there's a lot involved in that process of taking everything you own and belongs to you and moving it from one geographic location to another. Maybe one or two of you listening to this would put in the notes and say, I love that when I can do that. But I bet the majority of us listening to it who've actually moved and maybe moved recently enough so we remember the pain of the process would be like, yeah, no. And recently when I did that in a class, somebody put their hand up and said, hey, if it's waterfront property, I'll go tomorrow. I'm ready. So yeah, there may be some exceptions, but for the most part, it isn't something that we enjoy doing. It isn't, change is difficult. And if it's an addiction, if it's a chemical change, then you have the chemicals themselves that physically help you resist the change. So think about this a little bit. I'm going to give you some helps along the way here of how to embrace change and create openness in our lives for life to come and and help us and facilitate the change. Because there are things that we want in life. And when we try to go for it, sometimes we just feel stuck. It's like, I don't understand why I can't, why this happens. Or the new thing these days is to manifest. I don't understand why I can't manifest it. Why can't I make this happen? Well, it's not that you can't, it's that there's a process for doing that. And part of it is beginning to make room for what it is that you want into your life. And the other part of that is to examine, what is it that it will give you? What do you expect? What do you want from having it? And to really explore the underlying emotions. Is it something emotional that's going to change? Like, well, if I had this, it would make me happy. Nothing outside. There's no physical thing out here. Even a new location will make you happy. I mean, we know that, right? Because we know people who have shifted, moved, and moved across the country. Geographical solution to their addiction to life as it is doesn't cure them. If it's a chemical addiction, it really doesn't cure them. You just have to go through the hassle of finding a new distributor. It's like, okay. Um, and I know this is a serious topic, and so I don't want to treat it too lightly, but I, sense of humor about life itself is great medicine, and laughter serves as a great medicine. I talked some video here where kids, when they would come into the world as little people, were laughing 400 times a day. By the time we get to be adults, we're lucky if it's 15 times a day. Just look at the scowls and the grind and the yucky faces on people as you walk down the street. It's what's going on? Life is pretty cool. It can be a lot of fun, but there's some kind of basic principles to shifting and changing. We're going to talk about a few of those, so stick around. That make it possible to shift and change. I won't say without struggle, but without effort, when you know the rewards that are coming and you're happy about it already. So don't postpone happiness. That's a choice. That's an emotional choice you make within. And whatever it is that you think is going to bring you happiness, and I know some of you are going to make comments. Think about the people who already have what it is that you want and tell me that it's 100%. Tell me it's even 80% that they're happier now than before. Because whatever we possess, remember, also possesses you. So think carefully through that thought that you have, that belief that you have. Because the problem with our belief systems is that a lot of it is BS. And we believe it even though we don't have it. And that's part of the process of making those changes. When you believe it, then you see it, as opposed to the reverse. But think through it a little bit. Why do you want it? Well, I want this feeling. Get the feeling now. Don't delay joy. Don't delay happiness. Don't delay love because of some physical thing in your life that you don't have. Choose in the other direction. Go for it. Go for it. Don't stay stuck on what is and what is impossible, because anything and everything is possible if you believe it. Magic. It really, truly is. So, one of the things that keep us from believing in our dreams is the disappointment that it won't happen. I'll never, whatever, fill in the blank. I'll never stop using. I'll never stop drinking. I'll never stop da 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 da. Afraid of failure. I'd say one of the ways to get off of that is, what's the worst thing could happen if you leave the addiction to what is, as is, and move away from it and go into the realm of possibility? What's the worst that can happen? And if you need, pause the video for a minute and really think about it. Write down. Give me 5 reasons that the present, even though you desire something different, you're willing to keep, rather than exchange it for something else that you would prefer. And remember that whatever it is, it's temporary. Nothing lasts forever. At least in the physical world. I think love does. But that's for another video. Einstein said, imagination is more powerful than knowledge. Imagination more important than knowledge. And that guy knew a lot. But remember, he discovered like time relative by riding on a light beam, he says, at the speed of light. And then the math formula came out and he realized that it's not time. It's like, oh yeah. And I think he described it, it's like when you watch an old movie from the West, where the wagons or the stagecoach is going forward, but the spokes appear to be going backwards. That's what it is. That's the visual image of what I saw as I was going faster and faster. Everything slowed down, stopped, and went in reverse. It's like, wow, so cool. Except he knew the math to support it. Different from the rest of us. So I'd say the way that you shift this, the way you get out of being stuck, is to become a master of perception. The master of imagining and visualizing what's possible. And then helping yourself identify, when you get that, what is it that you are creating in your life? What are the feelings that you're seeking? Anybody who's been addicted to any kind of a chemical substance knows that they're trying to change emotional feelings. They're in that emotional, what to them appears to be a cesspool. Well, imagine it as a swimming pool. Imagine that you have all of these choices for how to feel, and make a choice. Feel differently already. And that the only thing that chemicals will bring to it is to destroy that. So I want to enhance it. No. But you know that it doesn't. Follow it all the way through. It doesn't enhance it. You need more and more and more, and it's damaging your body. Come on. Imagine what's possible. It's not reality yet. What a difference it will make. Naomi Osaka, a story I've told other places, a tennis player, visioned for a long time winning the US Open and beating Serena Williams, the reigning champion. Now, it's impossible. It's not going to happen. Why? Well, first of all, she's Japanese. And in the whole history of tennis, no Japanese woman has ever won a Grand Slam tournament, whether it's in France or Wimbledon in England or the Open in Australia or the US Open. It's not going to happen. She continued to visualize it. She had the perception of the possibility and held on to it until she held on to that image of winning until it became a reality. Wow. And in 2018, it finally did. And it was a difficult match. Serena had her own issues kind of going on at that time. She was struggling. And the crowd was behind Serena. And at one point, well, when she finally won, she's crying. And during one of the interviews, she was crying. And Serena finally said, "Look, everybody, stop your booing. She just won the U.S. Open." She said, "I remember the first time I did." She said, "You want tears of joy and happiness." She played an amazing game. And she was very gracious, saying, "I know that you're hometown champion here. Um, and what an honor to be in this place and having done that." The interesting thing about her, I was reading a story about her, that long before that happened, she imagined it. She had she had the power of perception to see herself doing that, achieving it and accomplishing it, and having to fight against all the negative talk in her head that it can't happen. You're Japanese. You're a woman. All the other things. It's Serena, one of the all-time greats. It isn't just a good tennis player. She's one of the great tennis players. She didn't just win it once. She's won all of the major Grand Slam tournaments more than once. But that's the power of our perception. That's the power of imagination. When we release our addiction to just having everything stay the way it is, we're open to the possibility of change. And yes, she had to up her game. That was a big change. She had to work out more. She had to do other things more to make that happen. But it's seeing that it's possible, seeing herself do it first, that made all the other work involved in it worthwhile. It's like my kid in the class who says, "Hey, if I'm moving to waterfront property, I'll do it tomorrow." It's having that feeling to it. It's having that energy behind it. And I know that each one of us, because I've done this enough, that everybody who's hearing this and wanting something, but then faced with the reality and the possibility of disappointment and everything else, it's possible. Hear me say this, it's possible. And if you're really feeling stuck, ask yourself the two big questions. What's the worst that can happen? If you don't get it, what's the worst? If you go for it and it happens, I'm going to actually have it. Okay, that's what you wanted. Possibility B, I don't get it. Okay, you'll have learned a lot. You'll have had this adventure. You'll have had this experience. Not bad. And even when you're there, whether it happens or not, nothing lasts for everything. Everything is temporary. Now, I'm not using that. Don't use that as an excuse for not making an effort, not doing the work of visualization, seeing it happen. But go through the early steps. What is it that I want out of it? If it's a feeling or an emotional shift, make that now. You can have that right now. If it's something else, it may bring up some things that you need to release and let go. Use Ho'oponopono. If it's guilt, shame, past mistakes, it's a powerful process. We'll do a video on it sometime, but it's I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you, both out to the universe and to yourself. I love you. Wrinkles, warts, mistakes, failures, all of it. Oh yeah, and those amazing successes. And somewhere in here there's a video about looking yourself in the eye and telling yourself multiple times a day, I love you. That's why we do it. It's part of that releasing and bringing you into the present moment now without a whole bunch of baggage. Katie Byron's 4 questions. Look those up. Ask yourself those 4 questions. It's a great release technique. Emotional freedom technique, the tapping, where you tap the touch points on our face and body to release. We do a video on it sometime if you like. A good friend of mine, Carol Look in New York City, has tons of videos. I think she has a YouTube. She may have a YouTube channel. I don't know. I haven't checked lately. All on using the emotional freedom technique. Great friend, and been doing this for a long time. So somebody good to learn with. Of course, Gary Craig's the author of that technique. So Gary's channel as well. But so there's ways to release yourself from the doubt, the fears, and all of those kinds of things, so that you can go for it. But the important thing is to become really a master in the art of perception, of perceiving things that you don't see yet the way you want it to be. I'm depressed. I know. Imagine yourself happy. But I'm afraid. Imagine yourself brave. I don't have any friends. Imagine yourself as a friend to a large group of people. All of those situations, conditions. I'm anxious. I'm just fearful. Yeah. Most everything, certainly all of the negative emotions that we have, there's a little therapy shortcut for you. All of that can be you can file under a column that's titled fear. All different manifestations of what is fear. And the antidote to fear, not something you find in a bottle. The antidote to fear is love. Loving yourself, loving others, and loving the universe. Call it God, whatever you want to call it. I know people don't, but that's the ultimate solution. And then the next step is to imagine, using your imagination, using the images of things that are not yet, and you're calling them into being. Remember when Habakkuk said, the stable's empty, the crops are not in, Said, I have nothing. There's no store. There's nothing left. I don't have the granary. I don't have any of those things. And yet will I thank God. Yet will I be thankful and grateful. He was envisioning what he wanted. He wanted to be grateful and having the Thanksgiving after the harvest, but feeling that way before any of that happened. He anticipated it. That's what we have to do. That's what I'm suggesting that you do. You don't have to. But to get unstuck, to move forward in all of this, to dissolve those emotional things that keep us locked in place and the same old, is to envision life differently, be grateful for the change, and thankful and happy. Do that, life will be entirely different. Hey, I wish you all the best. Stay tuned, keep coming, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, folks that you know might need this. And my blessings to you. This will change and transform your life. Make the comments below. I've got a class coming up in a few weeks where we kind of go through it in more detail and like the steps to take, and all your questions will get answered. We'll have a chance to dialogue and talk about it. Um, I've been doing this for a long time, friends, as maybe you can see. Uh, so I don't think you're going to stump me with what you're struggling with. Namaste. All the best. Love all of you. Thank you.